Hello and good evening, everybody. You are back with our favorite night of the week. It's our Thursday night show, which is Trust Your Exit Plan. And many of you know that trusting your exit plan can take a lot of planning and a lot of skill in investing and understanding what you're doing and the way you're doing it. And it's all a learning process for all of us. So tonight, I have two very special guests that I met when I was out. And these are some of the amazing people that you can meet if you go to these shows and these events out in Las Vegas. We had a great time. And I met you two at a Caleb and Brown event, of all places. That was really fun. So tonight, we have Kinley and Kaylin here tonight with Digital Asset Sisters, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, girls, tell us your opening story. How did you two get together and get this whole thing rolling? How did this happen?
Yeah, well, I just want to start off by saying we actually are sisters. That is probably the first question that a lot of people ask. They're like, wait, so is that just the name? You're friends? But we actually are sisters.
Yeah, so they usually think we're like, oh, sister, you're my sister. But no, we are.
Yeah, and I'll kind of just share mine. You can jump in. But so we originally started in 2019. And at this time, I was going to college and I was super interested in investing. In investments, I was like, I need to put my money somewhere that it's going to grow, somewhere that. So I was looking into everything. She knows, and she even cracks up because I say life insurance. Like I was like, what can make me money? Where can I put this money? And even in real estate. But during that time of looking, my dad actually brought it to our attention because we've both been very investment savvy and just wanting to learn in that way.
And he was very entrepreneurial, like all our life growing up. So we kind of had that same spirit.
Yeah. And so he brought it to our attention and he was like, hey, you guys should take a look at this. Like, take a look at this investment opportunity. And so as a family, actually, we all started researching crypto of all things, and specifically XRP. And so we're like digging deep into, okay, what is this? Where is this going? And how can we benefit from it? And we just found tremendous value in it. And like I said at the beginning, I was going to college. Kaylin was going to college.
Yeah.
And we both dropped out. And I'll kind of let you share.
Yeah.
I know you like that.
So we both actually, well, our whole family,
wait a minute.
we all started.
We have dropouts.
Yeah, go for it.
We have dropouts. What? We have dropouts here tonight with us. I thought.
College dropouts.
We're both college dropouts. That's for sure.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm proud of it.
I think I lasted a whole 2 weeks, and I just said, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to college. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I got better things to do in my life." Yeah.
Exactly. That's
so. How long did you girls go? And I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, that's totally fine.
She went for 2 years and she was studying nursing and playing volleyball. Yeah. And then I went for 1 year. I was studying chemical engineering and playing volleyball. So we were both on volleyball scholarships and in pretty good areas of study. Academics,
future profession.
And she dropped out first because I'm a bit younger. And then I went to college and we started this understanding what was going on with cryptocurrency. We started investing ourselves and it just kind of became something where, we wanted to learn more. We wanted to dig deeper. We started getting conviction of this investment of like, okay, this is legit. This is something that we really want to put our money towards. And we ended up putting quite a bit. I mean, we were young. We put quite a bit of what we had into that from our jobs being young and in high school and whatnot, and ended up doing pretty well in some areas there. And then we both dropped out because we saw so much potential in this area. We saw extreme potential in where the future was really going in this. So we were like, okay, we actually started working a lot, kind of started a family business before we even started Digital Asset Sisters. And then people started coming to us and saying, "Oh, can you help me? Are you one of the crypto sisters?" So just from word of mouth, just from, friends and family, they were coming up to us saying, "Are you the crypto sisters?" And we would just start helping people invest in these assets, and more specifically telling them why as well, and helping them understand what cryptocurrency even was, blockchain even was, and then we dive deeper into our specific investments and mainly XRP. And so we dive deeper into that. And then we actually started, a business came to us and asked about us. And that's when we kind of flipped a switch.
Wait, what are we doing? Maybe we need to start a business in doing this instead of just giving out everything. That we had. So that was definitely a flip of the switch moment.
Yeah, I think we were both working jobs, doing some different stuff, and then we were like, okay, let's start this business. Let's actually make a program for people to learn this. Let's allow it to be duplicated so that we're not, consumed, maybe just it can reach further. And so we started consulting this business and started up our business, Digital Asset Sisters. And at first we were like, should we call it Crypto Sisters? And then we said, well, we believe that about 80% of cryptos are probably going to fail. So no, we're going to call it digital assets because that's what we're invested in. We're invested in real utility assets that we believe are truly going to succeed in the future and have real sustainability. So we chose Digital Asset Sisters, and then the rest is kind of history.
And we figured it all out.
Yeah.
What? Okay. What? I got a couple of that brings up some good questions here. So you were doing well. I mean, you were kind of like in college, university, and you were having a good time doing whatever, playing volleyball. And then what was it about crypto? Was it I know your father's big into it, but was it your father's influence, or was it just what you knew on campus, some of the people that you heard on campus? Do you feel like it's people of your generation that were really picking it up at school and you could see it growing? And you're like, hey, wait a minute, I think I know a lot more than most of the people in my school. I think it's an opportunity for me. Was it one of those?
That's a good question. No, that's a good question, because I would say a lot of people would think it's our generation kind of talking about it, or maybe that's where we picked it up. But honestly, I didn't hear about it at all while I was in school.
Until this day, actually, our age group is probably the most, even some of our close friends. I mean, we helped a lot of our close friends invest, but even some of our age group still is like, what are you guys doing? Are you guys still doing that? And then now we have people coming, I mean, just from years of being in this, now we have people coming back to us being like, oh, I wish I invested when you told me to. Can you help me? I actually just got a text from a very, very old friend, 8 years ago. We went to school together, and he just texted me tonight saying, hey, I know you shot me a text about 5 years ago about this opportunity, but I'm interested now. I wish I got in back then. And I was like, I can still help, because there's still a lot of opportunity. And there always is going to be opportunity within this space. But, I like this quote because it says, the best time to invest, or the best opportunity, was always 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago. But 10 years into the future, the best opportunity would be now. So, we're always seeking for new innovation, opportunity, being ahead of the game there. But just to go back to your question, I got off a little bit there. But we actually ended up going to another college. It was like 4 hours, probably from like 8 to 12 every single day. We both went there. And it was kind of just foundation in the word, actually. So foundation in the word, and they had a really great business school that was hands-on. So it was essentially, and I mean, a lot of colleges have business schools where it's just you're kind of maybe reading from the textbook or something. This was entrepreneurs, finance people that were coming in, and they were super successful, even some billionaires that were coming in teaching us. We even had one guy, she'll tell a story of one guy that came in and taught us. And then we actually got to run our business through the school, pitch it to investors, pitch it to individuals, and then also help. And then we also got clients from our class because of the connections and then the school. So within that school, it was actually the age range there was probably 40 to 60. We were probably the youngest kids at that school.
Yeah, some of the youngest. I mean, there's some young kids, but
yeah, some of the youngest kids, I mean, in the place are individuals, but people from that place started asking us questions. You know, it's interesting because it is the younger generation a little bit that is a little bit more, they don't take it as seriously. I think they still take it more as gambling, that, oh, maybe if I invest in this, or they want more of a quick return than something that is, they can't fully see the importance of seeing fully out into the future yet. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say a lot of
That's-
people are just looking to get rich quick, honestly, our generation. So, and yeah, there's a handful of individuals that can really understand it, but not many.
I think it's really I don't necessarily think it's a generation. Well, it is a generational thing because of the tools in which your generation has now. It's completely different, obviously, than when I was a kid. But I could say that people today do have that slight edge about them about, okay, if I'm not getting 50% annually, I don't want to, I'm not even interested. Like I can't catch up. I'm so far behind. I've got to catch up. But I also believe this is, I'm not trying to justify that, but I am going to say that never before have they had the opportunities to make 50% a year like they do today. And
absolutely.
So like when I was your age, nobody owned any, we couldn't spell investment. It was like all you did is put, and I know 90%, 95% of the people your age just spend money on beer and housing, but that's still the case. But that's all we did back then. And today, at least they're into Robinhood. They have trading accounts. They actually know what it is. And they're like, oh, wow, my company makes me do this 401k thing. I'd rather have the money myself, and I'd rather do something with it. And it's really true today. And I think they can do, they don't know how to invest or trade, but they can get online and get in groups that do know what they're doing and learn. And I think personally, I think it's way better than spending 2 to 5% to have somebody manage your portfolio, annual fees, to take the bumps and bruises in the beginning and figure out how to do it and then get better at it over time, because by the time they're 10 years older, they'll be good at it. And still 10 years from now, the opportunities are going to be amazing for people.
Absolutely.
Okay, so so if let me say this. If you were to start over again, okay, because I know you've just started, but if you started over again, what would you teach somebody that even just 5 years ago, it's like, what was one of the bigger lessons that you've learned so far in crypto, just in investing for yourself? What are those lessons?
Oh, that's good. Okay, I have one, and I always say this, but
I know.
my favorite one to say is something as simple as dollar cost averaging. I wish I dollar cost averaged, because you always look back and you say, oh, when you're back there in that time period, you're like, okay, I'll invest this amount. And then you kind of are, the asset is great. You know that your investment is solid. You have confidence in it, but you're kind of like, oh, that was a good chunk I put in there. Then you kind of get down the road, maybe 2-3 months later, and then you have another good chunk that you maybe put in there. But then when you actually start dollar cost averaging, you can look back on the years and see how much you would have built up and see how much you would have actually been able to acquire. And I'm talking about the quantity of the asset at low prices.
Right.
Because, we invested at pretty low prices with XRP starting all the way below 20 cents. Yeah. And so if we were to just dollar cost average back then in good amounts, I'm glad we invested and I'm so appreciative for the amount we did invest. But if we just continue to be very consistent at the very start, I always tell people to really use that as a tool, because when people get into crypto, they are a little bit weary, right? They're a little bit, okay, let me put this amount in and then let's see how it goes. But
then they always want to put the big chunk in when it's like already going up there. And it's like, no.
Yeah. So we kind of help individuals, really assess their goals and then also their risk tolerance as well. But then develop that underlying why behind the asset, because really it doesn't matter what price it's at. Truly, yes, we can get into those nuances, but really it's about the overall, where is it going? Because if it's going to astronomical numbers, is 20 cents going to make a difference? And so our clients, we always laugh because before December happened and XRP was at 50 cents, our clients, it would go to 60 and they'd be like, I'm going to wait. And it's like, and we're like, okay, but if you have an amount that you want to invest, just split it up and get it in like a month, let's say, if that's what you want to do. And there's different strategies we kind of work with our people with. But then it went all the way up to $1.20, then it went all the way up to $2, then $3, and they were like, I wish I wouldn't have fought over 10 cents. So if that's probably the biggest lesson I would say.
Yeah.
DCA.
And
yeah.
And then for me, I would say one of the biggest things, and like we're still working through a lot of this, but your exit strategy and having an exit plan and strategy, because we've been in this space for six years now. And so it's like the amount of times that we probably should have taken profit and then didn't take profit, that's something that we've really learned and honed in on within the last year or so, to really develop that. When am I taking profits, and why am I having a purpose behind the profit taking? Not just saying, oh, I want the money or I need the money. No, what is that specifically for? Is it for reinvesting? Is it for buying a house, paying off debt, your business, whatever it is? Have a plan and then kind of stick to that plan as well. And it can move, it can be flexible, but you don't want it to be flexible. Your emotions flexible.
Right. And we look back on that, just to add to that, because it's a really, really great point and a solid point we always touch on. It's like we always talk about priorities and objectives. Our number one objective is long-term within this market. If individuals invested back in 2014 into Bitcoin, and then they were trying to take profits from 2014 to 2016, they would have some good, or 2018, they would have some good profits, right? But if they just kept until today, when it hit I guess it was like yesterday or the day before, when it hit its all-time high, they would be even way better off. But what we then really dissect and go into even more is, yes, okay, that number one objective is the long term, but there are also the volatility within this market actually aids to our benefit. Because no, we're not day traders. No, we're not trying to time the markets like that, but you can actually cycle trade and be able to understand what a good momentum swing up is within the retail sector, within sentiment, and be able to capitalize on that and take a percentage of profit and then actually reallocate it to build your portfolio. So that's something we really go into, and that's probably our second priority or objective after the long term.
Yeah.
Because we never want to say, oh yeah, sell 100%, bet on it, and then try to reallocate it. No.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
we don't do that.
Yeah. That's so key, because this, I've been around this market a while too. And the thing that I noticed is I knew a lot of people that became very wealthy in 2017. And I never really sold, and I should have at times. But on the other hand, everything that I own before, even at the top of that market, is worth double and triple what it was then. So, and that wasn't really that long ago. So that was really a big lesson for me. I was like, wow, I really missed the boat. What a dummy. I could have done better. Except for no, not really. Not if you're into this for the long term and the long haul. So let's say you don't give financial advice, but let's say if you were going to start a portfolio today, okay? Like because you can't tell anybody else what you would start one with. Do you have a favorite in crypto of allocation percentages? And I know that I'm going to ask you, does that change with age groups? How do you guys feel about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does change with age groups, and
To a degree.
To a degree.
I think
we have our number one investment. We have our top three investments, kind of top four-ish that we give individuals. But then it's also really dependent on your goals and also your risk as well, because along with your capital. So if you're,
but if it's us, just answer it as if it's us.
Oh, okay. Well, if I had,
Yeah.
No, I'm good either way. Either way,
right. This isn't financial advice.
Yeah, right.
But right. So if I had, let's say I had $5,000 to invest and Kinley had $100,000, we would see that as a different portfolio. So what I would say for me is I would probably actually go all in one asset and into our top asset, which is XRP. We really like the fundamentals, the foundation of XRP and where we see it going. And so I would probably go all in on that. Now there's a lot more than just hearing about an asset and then trying to invest. There's a lot more to it. So I wouldn't advise or even suggest anyone to just run and go do that without understanding how and the precautions there and the why. But then for like, let's say 100,000, if you're wanting to invest that much, there's a lot more room for a little bit of diversification. But we always say it's really up to your goal and risk tolerance as well. So if I like to say diversification is very, very beneficial when you understand and have knowledge behind your assets. But if you're diversifying for the sake of maybe it's Bitcoin, maybe it's XRP, maybe it's, Shiba, and then you just diversify 1/3 into each, I don't think that's the best strategy there.
And in our opinion, that is a lot like gambling, essentially. When you're just kind of hoping, well, maybe it's that one, or maybe it's something on Twitter that somebody has posted about. In my eyes, that is straight up like, oh, I'm just gonna throw some money and see which one wins.
Right. Now diversifying into let's say a reasoning behind things and really understanding, okay, your goals, your risk, and actually understanding why you're doing it, then you can diversify maybe like, let's say 70 to 75% into really blue chip assets with that $100,000 portfolio. And then maybe use that other 30 to 25% to invest in, let's say, a little bit, we sometimes call them boom boom coins. It's funny, we make a joke about it, but maybe cryptos that you will probably want to take profit on shorter term in the short term, and then maybe even reallocate those or use them for a different purpose. And you can even kind of like look at it as two separate portfolios to a degree even. So we kind of like that structure a little bit, to put it simply. I mean, there's a lot of depth that we can go into within it.
I know you guys can really, yeah. I don't know why this this came to me the night that I met the two of you. You both know a lot more about strategy than most people I run into. I typically don't run into people who have good strategy, and all the strategy questions I asked you, I was like, wow, these girls get it. They're not just like buying, oh, well, I'm in this chat group and we bought these coins. And it's like, I actually specifically asked you a couple of tough questions, and both of you went on for like 10 minutes on it. I was like, okay, they didn't just spit out a couple of key words, I was like, wow, I got to get these girls on the channel, because I think you guys offer, first of all, let me talk about what you guys offer. You offer youth and patience that this old guy doesn't have, for number one. But obviously you know what you're doing. You've been doing it long enough, and you've helped so many people. It's kind of the questions and the problems are quite repetitive. So you get skilled at them and you get better at them. That analysis of $100,000 investment is brilliant. There's so many people that do not understand that. There's so many people. One of my favorite things to stories to tell is that, I don't know if you guys remember the Theta coin. THETA, right? Theta coin. That project I bought at 11 cents, and I bought quite a bit of it, what I thought was quite a bit. And I knew it was going to pop, and it was moving. The tech was there. Everything was coming in, and the fundamentals were so good for it. And I thought, well, okay, this thing's going to go. And it waited, and I waited. I was in that thing for a couple of years, and then it took off. And the thing that lesson that I learned is exactly what you just talked about. I didn't have enough of those coins to change my life. Although it went from 11 cents to $15, which is astronomical, right?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh.
There you are. Sorry, guys. I'm with Mr. Elon's internet here, so I'm kind of I had made it's like 200 grand.
Oh, there. I think it might be getting better.
Well, maybe not.
Uh-oh. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're here. Uh-oh.
We're here. He's loading. It's not wanting him to talk about all the profit he made and how he could have made more profit.
Seriously.
Yeah. I don't know if we're still live though, but if we are, he was saying a really good point with it being at 11 cents and then going to $15, because that's astronomical. If you knew that you were going to be getting into an asset that was going to go from 11 cents to $15, you would really rethink your allocation. Now, if you have a couple of different assets and you don't know where they're going, you don't know much about them, and you're just kind of putting money in each of them just randomly, then it's kind of like a betting game of, oh, which one's going to go up, which one's going to crash. But if you understand really where it's going, then you can make a smarter decision, a more purposeful decision of where you're going to put your capital, and understand that you need a lot in order to, or not a lot, but a substantial amount in order to actually make some good profit on there. I was just putting a point into your story.
Oh, great.
But go ahead.
Good. Yeah, my internet's a little tricky here. So anyway, you probably finished the story for me. but it's
No,
so
I want to hear
important.
yours.
Okay, okay. Well, what happened is it went to $15, and I was like, okay. And just to be fair, I had 10,000 of them, and I thought, well, 10,000 is a lot, but at 10,000, times $15, it's not life-changing money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's incredible profits on one trade, but I was like, I don't know. That's not really what I really thought. The bad part, the part that you beat yourself up about, is I got the trade right. I had the right product. I had everything lined up. Yet I had 30 coins. I didn't
Right.
have, like you talked about, 2 or 3 or 5. And I didn't have my chips on the right numbers. And it was really frustrating at the time, because I was like, well, I'll just cover the whole board. And then, if one of them goes 1000x, I'll be fine. But if you don't have enough capital in that 1000x trade, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Right.
work. Yeah. So
Exactly. Very intentional capital is what we call that.
And I
it's
think it's
exactly
interesting because I don't know who it was, either like Warren Buffett or somebody talks about diversification. And the people that get wealthy, the rich people, the wealthy people, aren't diversifying, into every little thing. They're sticking to one big, if that's a business, they're putting their money all there. If they're,
That's
if
right.
it's an investment, they're putting their money all there. And that's how they make their substantial wealth. So that's one thing that we've talked to our clients about as
Yeah.
well.
That's I have to tell another quick story. 90% of the reason why people aren't successful in trading, this is something a lot of people would argue with me about, but my life experience has taught me this to be true, is because they bought a home. What people do is they think they've been told for generations, oh, I need to buy this house. And then they get over leveraged, and then there's absolutely no money for investing, because everything they have is going to pay this mortgage. Oh, now we need a roof. Oh, we got to pay the insurance. Oh, look, the washing machine went out. Like, everything is just a constant expense. And you never have that nest egg, or you never have that $5,000 or $10,000. One of my favorite men I ever worked for, multi-billionaire, sitting on the back of his boat one time, and he told me the story of, Alan, the difference between you and I is that I, at the right time, had $10,000 that I could just put into something that I believed in, that somebody came to me and said, hey, this is an incredible opportunity. You should try it. And even if that one failed, I had it again, and I had it again and again. Most people, it's not that they're not smart enough to be successful financially. It's that they don't have that deploying money. They can't allocate these funds that does the 10x and brings you to 100K. And now you can invest 4 or 5 companies, 20 grand each time, and it multiplies at such a fast rate. Most people are too busy paying a mortgage, and both husband and wife are working. Now they got daycare, and they just get behind the 8 ball, and they never get out ahead of it. 30 years later. Yeah.
That hits so many topics right now that we could speak on, but we've really been actually in the midst of, getting quite a few people in, and it's breaking our hearts because we're having an initial call with them to see if they're a good fit for the program. And essentially they're here to make money because of the problem that they first don't have the capital, and unfortunately it would be a disservice to them if we took them in and they didn't have anything to invest. We'd want them to come in and learn the mindset, learn what this opportunity is. But unfortunately, some of these individuals just don't have that capital. And so what we say is, you come back to us, but first, go find some way that you can put your value or your effort or your time into something that can bring you some good substantial cash flow back, and truly have a goal to allocate or save that up in order to put into this investment or dollar cost average. And then you come and we'll help you put that in there. But we don't want to, get someone into our program. They spend money getting into our program and they don't have anything to invest. And so really what we say is this market is, and I think that's a little bit why younger people sometimes don't see the value in it too, if they don't have the capital or if they're not, really thinking about laying money aside to grow and to be patient just a little bit for it to go from the 11 cents to $15, because believe it or not, you have to have that patience, even if it's 2-3 years for it to go to 11 cents to $15, even though that's a lot of increase.
And that's where it all starts here,
Yes.
honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
thank you.
And so, yeah, that's one of our things is, one of our prerequisites, but like what we really encourage people with that maybe aren't to that level yet for us to truly help them and then them be able to be successful within what we offer is to go just, spend maybe 3-6 months, because even though maybe the opportunity won't be as there might not be as high of an ROI, there is still always opportunity. So if you put your hand to something and you have a purpose behind it, that's kind of prerequisite. Then come in when you have that, at least, we say probably at least 5,000, that you're really wanting to put towards these assets to be able to, develop good goals, good strategy, and see a difference that is life-changing.
That's a great point. And I love your 5,000 strategy, just being all in one coin, especially if you know which coin you want to be in, which,
right.
gee, I don't know. One kind of man.
Us three were all oblivious.
Yeah. We have the opportunity in front of us. People still refuse to, they think, oh, okay, well, I can make it, but they're slowly losing ground. And it's not their fault. They're losing ground because of fiat. And fiat is tackling their lives slowly, one little bite at a time. And they can't understand why they can't get ahead. And they're like, everything points them towards spending more money, spending interest on it, on something they can't afford. And now not only is the money that they're earning declining in value, so is the payments going up, and then they get behind in their credit cards and the rest of it. So your advice to people is, I think I just heard you say, if you don't have 5,000 to invest, get a side hustle. Is that kind of what you're thinking, or is that kind of what you would do?
Yes, honestly, that's what we say. And I mean, it's funny because yes, we are very crypto savvy and this is what our program is, but we also guide people in how to get that capital in order to invest. Like, we're very business savvy as well. We love business. We have some different avenues.
And stewardship is huge.
Absolutely.
Key factors.
Mm-hmm. And we'll stick by those people that really want to be in our program, and we'll say, hey, text us. Let's see where you're at in your progress. We'll stay updated with you and we'll see where you're going. And it really, like Kinley said, it is mindset. And that's one of the biggest things we touch on. It's mindset. And that's why we want to, stay in touch with those people, because we'll help be your accountability partner to, go out, know, and bet on yourself. We always say bet on yourself, because that's the only guarantee we really have in this life, really, is to bet on ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, and one of the things within our program too, like within our community, is that mindset, because I just wanted to touch on this because it's like one of the biggest questions we get, from individuals maybe that come in, and you see it probably quite a bit, and you have an amazing audience that knows the answer to this question, but it's, what asset should I invest in? What crypto do I invest in? Where is this investment going? Right. But if you got the answer to that question, and then you got the answer to the second question, I've seen countless number of times that people still aren't, prepared for where it's actually going.
Exactly.
And so
And that's one of the reasons when people come to us, we don't just say, oh yeah, we're invested in this. And this is on what exchange we've done it on. Because countless times we've seen people like run to go and do that. And then they're like, well, it hasn't gone here. Maybe they lost it.
Mhm.
And there's just a numerous amount of things that people don't still understand and the why behind it.
Yeah. So we really talk about addressing the root cause, like what is the root behind it, and that's really what our passion is and our desire is to help individuals in is, yes, we love the assets we're in, like they're great. And we know the answer to that question. We're very confident in it, but we want to help people get to that root behind actually being successful within this market.
Mhm.
And that truly comes down to having an investor mindset, understanding how to implement this and understanding where you're going and the why behind it. Because all of those things I just talked about puts your confidence level up by like 100%. And then you're like, you're not just, oh, I'm invested in this one asset. I think it's called this. No, you're like, yeah, I'm invested in this and you should be too. And you should be. And this is why. And there's
Yeah.
purpose behind it.
Yeah. Because there's so many people. It's crazy what the internet will tell people to invest in. It's just like unbelievable. I look around and just go, okay, all right, I get it. I used to be that guy too in life. But what's frustrating for me is looking back, like we started the show. It's like, what could I have done 10 years ago? Well, that mindset just gets you in a tailspin. What you need to do is, what could I have done today? What should I do tomorrow? That attitude, what can I do tomorrow to change 10 years from now, is really important. And in particular, my group, we do have kind of an older crowd in here. I'm 25 to 50-year-olds pretty much. And I will say that I'm 90% 50 to 70 age group. But it's amazing to me how many of those people don't know just the simple basics of what you guys talked about just now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I really want to stress that came to me just in the last few years of this, AI, because of AI, you have a new competitor on the field, okay, for number one. But for number two, you're probably going to live longer. If you're 75 years old or 65 years old, like I am, you're probably going to live at least to 95, probably longer than that. Okay. And that's a whole different ballgame. We've never really measured for that before, but that is happening to people now. And it's like, well, you better have a long-term plan, even if you're 60.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
and I think the biggest shift, you girls have probably noticed this, in the last, I would say, year to 2 years, the shift has been more long-term in crypto, way more.
Yes.
It was 3, 4, 5 years ago. It was like get rich quick, right?
Yes, absolutely. I really agree with that. And I think to add to that point as well, it's like it is very true it's not about getting rich quick. It's in the long term. It's the long game. You really have to play the long game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we are still in a speculative market. So, but before, I mean, people always dog or, bash on crypto because it's so volatile. But really, that's where people were making their money, was due to the volatility, because that's where the get rich quick came from, because it was going from 11 cents to $15 all the way back down to 3, right? And so it's like, so no wonder people are scared, but then no wonder people are hungry to get into the game. And it's when you really look at it and you look at being what I guess we could say and some of our other investors say is being a value investor, you start to understand the importance of, okay, wait, this is actually, way more beneficial for me to get in and have a long-term play with it because of the exponential increase we're going to see.
I mean, we talk about it all the time of it being so similar to the dot-com boom. And it's like all these companies and, websites, they came out during that time and, majority of them failed, but the ones that are around today are, increased in value. We do this PowerPoint with our individuals and we go through and walk them through what Amazon was, like where it started, how it drastically went up to $100, drastically came down to $10, and now it's sitting at like $3,500 a share. And that is like literally the opportunity that sits at our fingertips today.
Yeah, that's right.
At much a greater level.
Yeah.
But I did want to just touch on really quick because you mentioned like the majority of your age group was like 50s to 70s.
70s.
I would say our average is probably like 50.
Mm-hmm.
So
50?
in our community, yeah, as well.
Yeah, we average around, I think our age range is around 40 to, I think actually our oldest individual was 79 in our group. And so we actually take individuals that maybe are a little bit more nervous about technology, or they're trying to understand, they see where the world is going. And like you said, they see that their 401k is just not doing it. They thought that if they saved in that for forever, that it'd do something. I mean, just for example, we have an amazing client. She actually just had her 1-year anniversary with us and in crypto just this past week, but she came to us, had a 401k, an IRA, and she's like, it would go up 10,000 one year and down 5,000 the next, and then it would just, and she just had this weight on her. And she was working a normal job still. She's around 68, and she's like, I just knew I wanted to leave something for my children, but I don't know. I just kind of lost hope. And so we got her in. She was super nervous, but she bet on herself because she did a little bit of due diligence, and she said, actually, if I want to change my life, I'm going to have to change my actions. And so she decided to take that step, take an action step, and change her actions. And now she is one of our number one clients on our leaderboard in our group, in our community. And
I don't know if she's like ever missed a call.
Yeah. And her portfolio is up over 300%, and she's going to retire this next year. And she's teaching her son that is in stocks and is a financial advisor about investing.
And he's like, what are you doing, Mom?
Yeah. So
that's so cool. My favorite part about crypto is, and I talk about this a lot on my channel, but like, I don't know how many generations there are alive right now. I guess 4, whatever it is. I just feel like all 4 are kind of equally in crypto. It's so weird. It's like there's never been a time in history where 4 generations are going to become wealthy all together at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I don't think this ever happened before. It's always the older people. Yeah.
I didn't really think of that before, but I think that's actually a really awesome point you make, because even though the strategy and some of the things within those different generations are a little bit different, everyone is still tapping in for sure.
Yeah. I think X is probably the biggest investor in crypto, I would say. I don't know.
Really?
I'm guessing.
Is that the youngest generation?
I think that's us.
No, that's Z.
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe it is us.
I don't know. Who cares for labels anyway?
Are we X?
Yeah.
Well, we probably are the biggest. No,
yeah.
We're the biggest influencers in that generation.
So one of the things that comes up a lot on my channel is, Alan, okay, I've got a ton of XRP. All right, now what? You know, what are some other projects that you really focus on, and what are some of the reasons why you like those other projects? Just to not to give financial advice, because this is just for entertainment tonight. But, you know, what are some other projects that let's say the person had 50K or 25K and they're like, hey, you know what, I'm just getting into this thing. You wouldn't want to put all 50 in XRP, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, well, I'll let you touch on that, but I just wanted to touch on the practical, because I'm a very practical, like, do you have your ducks in a row? Because a lot of people have come to us and they're like, so this is a true story. This actually just happened a few weeks ago. And then we'll get to the exact coin. But somebody came to us and they said, oh, I got scammed out of my $500,000 they had invested in XRP. And they came to us asking us, like, what do I do?
And this was outside of our group.
Yeah, they weren't a client of ours or anything, but they came to us because they knew that we did crypto, could help them potentially.
But high levels on safety and security.
But that is a thing that we really do, is like, it's the foundation and the true security. Like, do you have one thing that we always say? It's like, I know it can sound a little bit tedious and robust, but it's like the separate email account for just investing, like different high level security ramifications that you can do to protect yourself. Because if you have a large chunk of money like this gentleman did, and he just left it on the exchange, got scammed out of it, that is something that's actually more heartbreaking than anything else, honestly. So that's just foundational. If you have capital and you're like, oh, well, I'm good and I'm good with XRP, I would say just continue to rehearse your security, and wherever you have your capital, continue to rehearse where it is, how you get it, all of that. I think that's just really important.
And I'll add on to that real quick, but really, if you have, let's say, 20,000 XRP or even 10,000 quantity wise, or if you have $20,000 in XRP and you have that lump sum, you know, even on a hardware wallet, well, that's the first level of safety, is a hardware wallet. And there are different levels of custody that we actually get more of the advanced individuals that have XRP too, because one thing that we really do is looking future and looking into the future, understanding, okay, where is this asset going? If you actually believe that, if you truly understand the fundamentals behind this asset, then you're going to need to start to understand what you're going to do with that in terms of custody, in terms of strategy, in order to actually keep yourself safe, in order to keep your assets safe that you worked hard to invest into. Because we can, like, let's just use history to learn a lesson. A ton of people, we know a ton of people personally that had Bitcoin back in 2014, and they know they bought it, but they don't know where it is. They don't know how to access it. They don't know, you know, what they did with it, or they accidentally sold it, not accidentally, bought a pizza or something like that.
It's in a landfill.
But, right. So really, you know, when people come to us and they say, hey, I have this much capital in XRP, then we really start to say, okay, let's look forward. Because because we help even bigger businesses that have a very, very substantial amount into this. And so then once you're getting up to that level and then you start understanding the multiplication, you have to understand where that's going to go and how to actually hold it, and actually not just diversify in your assets, but diversify in your storage, your custody, and your methods of vehicles as well.
I would say that's probably the biggest thing, even over, might I say it, looking into other cryptos at this point, for us specifically.
Because if you don't have that and you start investing in other cryptos, then you're just going to complicate things even more.
Yeah, but if you were to invest in some other
Yes.
cryptos,
But for the
such
fun
as-
stuff, if you were to invest in other cryptos, we have quite a few different ones that we like, and they're all for different purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, they have different use cases, but different purposes for the reasoning why we invest in them, and what they're actually going to do for us. So we always talk about that. What is this asset going to do for you? Everyone wants to make money in this world, right? Like, I don't really know anyone that's like, I mean, well, I have heard some people say I don't want to make money, but that's not a majority, And so
No.
you have to understand, why do you want to make a percentage on that? And what is it for? Because then you're going to start to understand, oh, I need a shorter timeline. Oh, I need a longer time horizon. Oh, I want this safety on this, or, oh, I can have a little bit more risk. So we have a little bit of different investments that meet each one of those questions. But two, I would just say off of the top of my head, everyone probably knows from your channel, we really like XLM as well. It's just a very solid cryptocurrency, kind of retail based, versus XRP, which is more wholesale and bigger there. So we kind of say they're brother, sister still, within this cryptocurrency realm. And I think a lot of people know that are probably on your channel. And then one other one we really like is XDC. And we really like this because it really operates within the trading realm. And when I'm talking about trading, I'm talking about imports and exports. And so one thing we like to teach our community is that people say, which one is the one? Like, what cryptocurrency is going to be the one? And then there's all this like division between even Bitcoin people and XRP people, and I get it, but there's division, and it's like, instead of that division, it's actually like, I think Brad Garlinghouse even said this. He said, if cryptocurrency and some good solid projects in cryptocurrency succeed, it actually helps us succeed. It helps XRP succeed. And so do you say 1 second?
Oh, just keep going.
He said, so he said it actually helps XRP succeed as well. And what we've really noticed, what Ripple's doing, what XRP is doing, what the economy and the global economy is actually setting up for, is an ecosystem of cryptocurrencies that actually work cohesively with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really like to be, what is that ecosystem? And we're in the monetary ecosystem that is going to be the leading cryptos for a monetary system. And we say there's an ecosystem there. There's not just going to be one. Yes, there's going to be some that have a greater ROI, and that's why we're very bullish on XRP and just where it's going, the fundamentals behind it. But there is an ecosystem. And so if you can actually tie that together, then you can start to understand what your next investment can be. And we help teach that. And one other thing I say is, like, there can be the most genius crypto geek in his basement developing the next crypto, and it can be even better than XRP itself, but it can have no partnerships, it can have no adoption, and it can have no exposure, and it won't go anywhere. And so we really have to look at other factors when you're evaluating cryptocurrencies than just its utility, because as most of you guys know, there's a lot of cryptos that transact in 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a great point. It's, I love XDC. I don't have any choice. Basically, Quincy told me he would never speak to me again if I didn't buy more of it. So, there's that. But he's persuasive. But
That's
it's
awesome. He's a fun guy.
Oh, he's great. Yeah. But so I think one of the things, when you talk about that fundamental map of the banking institutions, are you now I'm going to ask you some of the harder like macro questions. What do you think's gonna what's your long term? What do you think's going to happen with this whole dollar thing, and what's your perspective on this? Or kind of tie the answer together. Do you see a crash coming, or do you see it being kind of a smooth transition, or do you see it being more of there'll be a decline and then kind of we'll bump back up again? What do you what's your take on it? Because everybody has an opinion on that one, and mine on this channel is pretty solid, but
I can
it's
answer it.
it's so,
Yeah, no, go for it. Because
yeah.
I don't know, we've tossed around a lot of different things, honestly, and we could see it going in different directions, but I mean, we can just kind of share.
We actually
some
talked
of
a
what-
bit about this today on our Invest 360 call, which is kind of more of our advanced group.
Yeah.
But really, I'll give, because even out of us three, our dad actually runs our Invest 360 group. So he's the expert back there. And then we bring on a ton of other experts as well. I mean, Jim from Caleb and Brown has been on there. Andrew DeVilbiss was just on there today. He does DeFi,
cool.
decentralized finance. I mean, a lot of individuals have been on there. And
we'd love to bring you guys on as well.
Yes, that's
Your
what we were
dad,
just
your
talking
dad, by the way, is a really sharp guy. But those of you who have not met their father, you probably will in this space. If you're an XRP for any period of time, you're going to meet him for sure. He's really sharp.
yeah.
He's amazing. Our community loved him back in Invest 360. And they're like, dude, this guy is amazing.
Yes.
I told him he should have a channel. I told him that. I don't know. He will.
We keep telling him to.
We do. We're like, Dad, get out.
But we need to have one too.
His view on macroeconomics is like another level, which is interesting. Like his view is, I mean, we can kind of share ours, which is kind of similar, but the way he explains his macro perspective on a lot of different things is really incredible.
Yeah, and he does do a lot of like crypto with macroeconomics, and then he's been in real estate his whole life as well, other investments. So that's really where we come up even with our 8 basket term, and I'm getting sidetracked here, but he's so good at it. We talk about, how to actually make crypto cohesive with your other streams of income, other investments, and how to leverage those cycles
and learn how to leverage them, not just being all 8 of them at the same time. It's learning the cycles.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the macro.
Yeah. So our view, we're just hyping up our dad.
No, he's awesome. He's an awesome guy.
He's one of the reasons. Him and my mom, they're the reason we're where we're at.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of our views on the macroeconomic, and I'll stay a little bit more broad, not get into too deep of things here, but what we really see happening is, and I think a lot of people within the cryptocurrency realm see this, but really cryptocurrency switching over from, and we see these 4-year cycles, right, of speculation. And really we call them kind of like the speculation cycles because it is essentially what they are. There's more retail involved, there's more emotion into what we're going to start seeing as really utility cycles and really a utility takeoff. And so we don't even fully believe that we're not at utility yet. And so that's really going to be a whole new ball game, right? But
that's like the crypto boom where everything will.
Right. But in between that, before even utility takes off, there's going to need to be some sort of correction here because we kind of talking in terms of chess. I don't really know chess, but like I know there's like things that you move. And so to get over other things. But anyway, so it's a bad example. But we do talk about, it's a good example though, but we think that really these events, the regulations being passed, even Trump being put into office, I mean, all of these things are you know, are they called pawns? Pawns
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that
The pawns are the
on
little
the
ones.
chess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're being moved. And so it's like they're playing their game smoothly and slowly, but things are being put into together and like all the puzzle pieces are being put together. And we
Mhm.
really saw some of that taking action and really starting to take place more in the forefront and in some of the media too when Trump came in. But
Yeah.
it's already been happening since the first, I mean, crypto, when you look all the way back, the first
The first white paper, you know,
was
or not the white paper, but patent.
the first patent was in
1989
1989
with David Schwartz.
Right.
Yeah.
ODL. So we see these things being pieced together. Now, what we really can kind of see within the economy is that there's a lot of different aspects that need to be corrected. And we're seeing those being corrected right now. We even saw probably, what was it, 4 months ago, where the stock market took a pretty big hit and everyone was freaking out. Well, for us, that
Yeah.
was actually pretty good because that's some of what we call cleaning up of the liquidity. And so what we could really see here is probably a pretty substantial crash here, and we don't know how big it could be. I don't think, and we kind of talk in terms of ourselves because we're all still trying to really understand it, but we don't necessarily think the dollar is just going to vanish, go away. No, but really when there is this kind of collapse and let's say sort of a reset, that
Mhm.
liquidity doesn't just go away. It has to go somewhere. And
That's right.
so really what we see, where we see that going is into cryptocurrency because it is going to be the saving grace vehicle that essentially brings the heartbeat back to our economy.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so we really think that that has to happen in order for cryptocurrency to even run at the the way it was meant to run and to see the prices where they actually need to be to be sustainable in the long run, to
Mhm.
actually be fluid within the economy.
Yeah.
And so we even see some of that taking place right now. But yeah, we really do think there has to be, we don't know really the level it will go to. And we're
Yeah.
honestly hoping it doesn't go to a level greater than, let's say, the Great
Yeah.
Depression, even though a lot of the signs are showing we're in those same times. But
Yeah.
if you are prepared, these downturns can be some of the biggest position leverages you can make right now because
Yes, for sure.
understanding where your cash is, having some cash on hand in that downturn, being able to capitalize on some of your assets because we could see a major spike up in some of these assets here come
Yeah.
Q4 end of year, even beginning, and potentially then see some liquidity
Yeah.
being taken out as well. And so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to be able to kind of capitalize, have some cash on hand, be ready for
There.
that
Yeah.
reset there.
Well, that's pretty much that's a great explanation of the macro potential coming up our way. One of the things I was a guy that for many, many years, being an economist pretty much my whole life, I studied many crashes and I just thought everything was going to crash. We're going to crash because this is unsustainable. It's unrealistic and this is not going to happen. Okay, we can't pay the debt. And I understand all that, except for I've been barking about a crash for 25 years and I've been wrong for 25 years. We had the perfect opportunity to have a massive crash. Back in 2020, the whole world stopped working and we didn't have a crash. No, we
Yeah.
did. It dropped pretty significantly. But what happened on the other side, we had a V-shaped recovery. And what a lot of people don't really put the math to that, that's really when I went to work. I was like, oh, what was that? Whoa, wait a minute, V-shaped recovery. If you look back at all the great crashes in the history of our economy, anyway, the US economy, 29 Only 1% of the population was wealthy. Therefore, 99% of the population crashed the market. Well, the poor, essentially, the unwealthy, are the people that just walk away from debts, and they are the people that can't pay the debt, and they refuse to pay the debt. So they walk away from their responsibilities, and they should, because the system's totally against them in so many different ways that we can't get into on this show. It wouldn't be long enough. But the point that I'm trying to make is the amount of people that are above the poverty level is higher than it's ever been before. And what happens is, you've even seen it we started the show with this. Economists aren't taking into account people have a Robinhood account, and they'll scratch and they'll scrape and they'll DCA. You and I, we're not wealthy people. We'll DCA. We'll buy those what we think are bottoms at a 25% drop. They all get bought up. Well, just think about how much money is above us. Those people aren't just going to sit inside their house and not go do anything and hold their gold bars. Those days are well past. That doesn't happen anymore. Like, they've got gardeners, they got the house, they got 3 houses, they got stuff going on. I know, because I worked for them my whole life.
Right.
They are not just going to lock the doors and, well, Martha, we're going to eat, tuna fish for the rest of their. No, it's as long as the dollar stays relevant. Okay. As long as they can keep people, I give the example, the plumber, as long as the plumber will still come to your house when the crap's flowing out of the toilet and unplug it for $1, you'll be okay. It's the day that everybody says, what else can you pay me? Because I'm not taking that anymore. When that day occurs, then we may have a massive crash on our hands. But until then,
that's really interesting, actually.
Yeah. Until then, I don't see a big crash coming. I know economists have been saying that we can't pay the debt, but understand the debt is not about equity. It's about more debt. Like, if you don't continually add more debt, we don't keep the balls in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a great point. I was talking, you guys know who Mikkel is? Do you guys met him at the show? Yeah. Okay. So Mikkel and I were talking one day, and it was just great conversation. He's the first person I've talked to that gets it. It's like we haven't printed enough money yet. And he looks at me and he goes, oh no, we're not even close. Like, we need double the amount of money that we have now. I've never heard anybody other than myself say that. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You think we haven't printed enough? And he goes, oh, no, we haven't, Alan. Just think about it. Just think about all the lower half of the people that aren't in the upper half of the world yet that I just described.
Right.
They're still down here, scraping and trying to make it. Until that liquidity gets all the way to the bottom and throughout the whole stack, we don't have enough equity out there. We just don't. And as generations die off and they get into, they inherit it, and they inherit it, and they inherit it, and they inherit it. Once that gets to, common day life existence, and I'm talking mostly in third world country at this point, but when that level is reached, then you're going to point of saturation. But it's really a different mindset. And I've only really kind of come to this in the last 3 or 4 years in my life, after studying it my whole life long. And they're just paying the interest, guys. They're not paying the debt back. They're not paying the debt back. That's deflationary. Why would you do that?
Right.
You're not going to.
Well, I think it's very interesting too with how, we touched a little bit on this at the beginning of the call, but how the generational mindset is really changing as well. Because we've talked to our dad about this, we've talked to other people, but I'm like, we're young. We're pretty young. And this is at the young age of, I'm 23, she's 25. I mean, we've learned a tremendous amount, but we haven't been through everything. But this is an asset class that, you know, we're growing up with, that we're saying, you know, oh yeah, we help our clients in 3 years, they're up over 900% within their portfolio. And that's average for us, when that was like, what is that, you know, back then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we've always said, like, wow, we're growing up in this time where we're kind of like, oh, throwing around 900%, when that is crazy to think
I know.
about. And from from my perspective, because we've studied our monetary system, we actually have a whole series that we have our clients go through if they want to kind of dig deeper into our money and into our economy and where the dollar actually came from, because it's just essentially fractions of, you know, I won't get into all of it. But you know, we've really studied these areas, and to me it looks like, you know, they and when I say a crash, I would almost say they crash stuff enough to then pick it back up and keep going. So even
They
like you
create the
said,
problem to then implement the solution.
yeah. So they
That's
create the problem, then they implement the solution. That's what
Yeah.
COVID was. We kind of see another one of those coming here soon, but it's not like, I don't think we're going to see something.
And what go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, sorry, I was like going off of you. I was like, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and that's something that we also talk about, of a lot of people don't understand the problem that's happening in our world, happening within the monetary system. So then the solution just doesn't make sense to people. And so it's like really truly understanding, like, what is the problem that globalists are facing essentially, and then what is the solution they're going to use to implement and solve that. So
And just to state one thing too, with like a really big crash, because I really like your understanding
Yeah.
of that, and kind of same thing that I've gone through a little bit of, like, you know, I mean, we've been in economics, we've been in understanding. I mean, we both have just studied it for fun and from our dad and whatnot. And we've all kind of been like, okay, there's signs of a crash, but really, when is it going to be that crash that we're actually like maybe projecting?
Or the
and
economics are projecting.
yeah, yeah. And, you know, one thing that has really stuck out to us, and we kind of talked to Andrew about today as well on our call, is that those that are invested in the infrastructure are probably the best set for any level of crash, but a very, very bad level of crash. So he gave this example, but Andrew did, and I just love it, so I'm going to use it tonight. And it's relevant. But he gave this
We
example
borrow
of,
from each other. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And he said, if the US got taken over, let's just say there was a world war and it got taken over, well, what would change? Probably the economy, potentially our currency, probably the way things are governed, you know, numerous things. What wouldn't change is the soil, the infrastructure. And so I think that's really huge, especially going into where we're all invested ourselves, XRP, and really seeing that this is truly infrastructure. And
Oh, yeah.
actually being this is really hedging your bet against a lot of other potentially not relevant things come 10, 20 years in the future, or when that bigger crash happens, because somehow we tip the scales to the 50% and the WEF is correct, and it's everyone owns nothing and is happy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Good luck with that. Yeah.
Right.
That's never worked in the past. I don't know why they think it'd work in the future. It's just
Right.
beyond me. Yeah. I think, gosh, I want to talk to you girls for hours about all of this.
I know.
I know. What do you think
We'll
If I
just
go
have to
to
have you on and do the part two, have you
yeah,
on
right,
our
that'd be fun.
community.
I I really I want to go down the real estate road, but I don't dare because it'll be an all-night show here. But one of the things that I'm seeing right now in my view is not just what Trump is doing, it's the system around him. Let's face facts, not just Donald, right? But what they're doing is creating a sovereign nation. And I really believe in that. And I really am happy about that. For the first time in my life, I think somebody actually cares about the citizens within their borders. And I'm not trying to get political because I'm really not a political person whatsoever, but I see the effort and I believe in the effort and I think it's the right direction. Every pendulum can be taken too far, clearly, but this one needed to turn around and go the other way, obviously. So, other than crypto, okay, yeah, definitely needed to. So, like,
Yeah.
if 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 you had other investments, like what are your stock views? What are, I mean, would you get into any kind of stocks? Are there stocks you like? Is there real estate you look at? Or is your play really 99% or 100% crypto at this point? What are you girls looking at?
I would say it's interesting because right now, obviously, I mean, not obviously, but right now we're, 90% in all in on crypto. We don't
Mhm.
necessarily have any other, like, we're not invested in stocks. We're not opposed to it by any means, but we don't necessarily see the gains coming from that. And honestly, like, we're a very, um, really what we like is crypto, but then real estate and business. Those are like our, I would say, at least for me,
Mhm.
and I know for you,
Yeah.
because you're my sister, but it's like very heavy in business as well. I think that that's an investment for us that we know that, hey, we want to invest in, our own education to go farther, even in different businesses that we maybe want to venture out and do.
Love
And
that.
that's really where we see
Yeah.
for
I love
us
that. Yeah.
investments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we really, that's why even with those, I mean, within our whole program, but even before, we really do believe that people should have separate streams of income coming in. So business is a huge one for us. And then what I would say is, you know, it's not that you know, there's so many things in this world that can make you money. And the thing is for us is we have to understand the time period we're in and then the
Mhm.
incentive behind it.
Yeah.
And so for us, and I would say this could be different for individuals because we have some very, very savvy individuals in our back end and that have come through our program and that are even in some of our other businesses that we run that
Mhm.
have been in stocks all their life and they've been very successful. And so, but then we also have individuals come in, they've owned multiple businesses. And then we also have individuals that have a ton of real estate. And so it's everyone's at kind of a different area. For us personally, um, and I would say our personal investments, we're younger. We're betting 100% of our energy and our time right now on business and crypto. And then real estate is our next endeavor that we know that we both personally want to get into.
Yeah.
Now, the power of
Leverage.
of leverage is that we have goals for our cryptocurrency and actually leveraging that for real estate. And then we also have other businesses and endeavors that essentially bring real estate and blockchain together. So I would say those are our biggest three. And then we also really like private equity as well and have
Mhm.
it's a privilege that usually only accredited investors can get into, but there are other ways to get into it as well. So we've found those and we like private equity as well. So, but stocks, I'll just touch on this one more time. It's not that we don't like them. It's just
Right.
we don't see it's kind of a phase deal. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's not
You have to
necessarily
know
the
the times it's
yeah. And the opportunity has already become mainstream usually when you're in stock. So there's just a different purpose behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my stock advice to everybody is just buy Tesla. My stock.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah,
need
right.
anything, like Tesla over the next decade is just gonna blow people's minds. I mean,
Mhm.
I just I never really thought much of Elon until about I guess 4 or 5 years ago. I really started studying what he was really up to, and then I bought a Tesla. Not because I'm green or anything else, just because of where I live. I live off grid, and I need an extra battery, so I can just put it in the car, and then I can drive for free. So because I have
Right.
such a large solar array, but that's kind of why I bought the car. But the more I started looking into the researching of the car and buying it, the more I started realizing what he's up to, and then it really hit me what he's up to, and I was like, oh, this is mind blowing. This man is
Yep.
about to revolutionize cars in a way that you can't even picture. It's crazy. I don't.
Yeah.
Did you see the cars coming off the line in Austin, and they come off the line and they drive to the house that bought them?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's crazy.
I haven't seen that, but even being down in Las Vegas, and I know this might not be new for some people, but seeing the robot cars
Yeah,
Did
that
you see
we're
it?
no longer
Yeah.
having like Ubers or taxis, now it's robot cars. I'm like, oh,
he's adding 1,000 a week in Texas, robot cars, and he's
wow.
just started. And by the way, his latest model is under $9,000 for a brand new car.
Well, so this is the whole
Like,
thing too, because it's like at what point do none of us even need cars anymore though? Like to buy a car. Because
yeah,
if you
yeah.
just have robot cars that can come pick you up and drop you off
Well,
wherever you want.
this is what's going to put Uber out of business. So,
Yeah.
like, you buy this $9,000 car, right? And you send it off to work.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
works for you all day, delivering people.
Or
That's
Elon's.
where it's going.
Right. But
And
you
then
buy it.
and then he came
Send
out
it
and
off.
said basically, oh, okay, well, you guys are worried about the batteries. Don't worry, because I'm about to double the age of them. They'll go 1,000,000 miles. And then if you're worried about that, don't, because after 10 years, I'll buy the car back for what you paid for it. And everyone's like, what? Like, how can you do? He realizes what the value of the battery and everything's going to be worth 10 years from now is going to be worth what you pay for it today.
Wow.
This is like all of a sudden a car is going to be free. So if you're going to high school and it's the safest car there is, it can't run into anything, right? You don't have a teenage girl putting her makeup on driving to school in the morning. We know how that can go. It's like
Yeah,
all of a
we
sudden, he's gonna crush it. Like how are you gonna buy a Toyota if you're 16? You're
Right.
you're
No.
yeah,
Yeah. We
it's crazy.
agree with that. And to see a lot of his other business endeavors, it honestly kind of reminds me of cryptocurrency because he's dipping his fingers into every single area of technology, AI, everything. And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
It's
we agree with you on that.
so that's my stock advice. I don't give advice. But yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I want to get back to, because I really kind of got to wrap this up. I don't know if you girls know, I'm traveling across the US. I will not be in Miami. However, I will be in Lauderdale for a couple of days. So yeah. But
Yes.
yeah, we are having an event. You're coming, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're planning on being there.
That's the only way we're able to get our dad and our mom that are in Colorado out to Florida. So thank
I
you.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, no, I can't wait to see
No.
your parents. Yeah.
On a serious note though, like we got on call with our dad to go over Invest 360 and
asking him to come out.
back end stuff. And we're like, yeah, we've asked them to come out. Nothing, haven't heard anything. And he gets on the call after hearing you talk, I assume. And he's like, hey, so are you guys going out to, are you going to be going to Alan's event he's putting on? And he's like, because I think I'm going to come out there. I'm like, now you're.
I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Well,
one way
you'll
to
get to
here.
see him every year because I think it's going to be an annual. So there you go.
Awesome. And then in Las Vegas too, because that's where the other crypto.
Yeah. So right. Yeah. So okay. So let's get down to what you guys offer. Who your clientele is, what levels of crypto knowledge are your clientele, or people that just are lost. Hey, what do I do? These girls seem really intelligent. They seem really smart. They seem really cool. How do I get started? What do I do? You can go from that level to how high?
Yeah.
How high?
So
What's your
So really what we offer and what we've set up is, we kind of have different layers and then different steps, but our main thing that we offer is a real foundation. So it's called our Crypto Start program, but within, oh, so cute.
it's Jessica here.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, it's my big
But
boy.
really it's our Crypto Start program. And so really what this does for individuals is no matter if they don't know much about cryptocurrency at all, or they've even invested, maybe even have some XRP, some other cryptos, they come in and they essentially fill all the gaps and the cracks in their foundation. And we take them from just a starter investor, maybe not a ton of confidence, and just, maybe they are invested in our 3 top assets and our number 1 asset, but they just don't have confidence that they have a good foundation to actually see it go long term. Well, we help them set up all the safety and security. We take them step by step. We essentially walk hand in hand with our clients and take them all the way from understanding why this asset is actually very valuable to the action steps that you need to take and put in place to be successful. Because we say it all the time, you can understand what to invest in, but not actually have the action behind it, the right steps, or you might just be, wasting time and kicking yourself because I'm wasting so much time. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. We just streamline it all for you, have lined up our success, how we've gotten to our success, and put it all in a simplified program so you can run through it and then come out the other side just confident, feel like you saved 3 years of time in just research and trial and error, and come out confident, having a great foundation to be successful within the future. And then we kind of go to our Invest 360, and that's really where you can actually start to take that portfolio and become more advanced. That's where, yes, our dad is the expert back there. He's great within real estate, great within other asset classes as well. And then we bring other experts on. And what we really like to say is like, and I'll let you touch on mindset and stewardship, but what we really like to say is like, we're connectors. So we have a huge connector base to, a lot of individuals and experts within this space. And so we're really able to connect where our clients come in and where they're really wanting to go to the path they can actually go on. Because our program it's not just a one size fits all. We actually help tailor specific things to your specific goals, risk tolerance, and then desire of where you actually want to go, and then are able to set your portfolio up towards that.
Yeah, and I would just say to like add to that, there's a lot of practical steps, and I'm more practical and she's more like big picture, big vision. And so honestly, we work great together. But I would also say that it does come down to mindset, and a lot of we love mindset. So we're always like coaching within that as well. And then stewardship. And it comes down to how are you going to ultimately steward this at the end of the day? And what is the end goal? And then working backwards from that. And honestly, being a part of a community is huge. And like all your people on here watching, you know, it's like you're a part of a community and of like-minded people. But truly, like for people that are maybe siloed off, I would just encourage you, whether that's whoever's community you feel like you fit in, it's like get a part of that community because you don't want to be siloed off during these times. You really don't. You want to have people encouraging you and going in the direction that you're going. And that's just really my encouragement there.
Yeah, and that's also just to touch on the mindset piece, like just to really define that. You know, sometimes we can think, oh, mindset, but if you know what to invest in, if you know where it's going, but you don't have ease with your positioning, you don't have ease with how you're holding it, you don't know where you're at within that phase or where you're going within the future. I feel like that's really the gap we fill within this space because just like you, like you are brilliant in your understanding. And there's so many there's so many great experts out there that we even met at the Las Vegas conference, right? And we would say, you know, we almost want to let them do their thing. Well, we'll take care of really helping the clients feel and community members and individuals feel confident in where their foundation is, where the practical is, where the action steps truly are.
Yeah, and to reach their purpose. Like I think we've always talked about this, but like we don't want to make people crypto geeks. We want to make sure that you accomplish your purpose, you know, in life. And if that's by setting you up and getting a secure foundation and encouraging you and pushing you towards those goals, you know, that's
breaking limiting beliefs down. Yeah,
that's a win for us.
Well, I as soon as I heard the idea when we were in Vegas together, I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, is there such a need for what you two are doing? Because it's everything that you just explained. Like people come to me or they come to Zach or they come to Dave or they come to Brad, and they're like, hey, can you help me with my portfolio? And it's like, I wish I had the time. You know, it's not my slot. You know what I mean? I'd love to. And there's a few that I can help, you know, they're kind of close to me. I can't give the time and effort that they need. And you guys are so young and patient and incredibly well-spoken and the rest of it. But like, there's such a calling for that beginner all the way to the advanced with the same group. I'm not trying to throw other people into the bus, but you know, there's other people out there, okay, who are doing the same service, but they're like, okay, well, you need 100,000 XRP to even join. Like I can't even pick the phone up unless you got $1 million. And that's just that's not what crypto's all about to me. Okay. Not that I have a problem with any of that. You know, Jake Claver, for instance, he's got a very successful business and it's incredible at what he does. But if your only net worth is 50 grand or 100K in XRP or Bitcoin or any coin for that matter, you know, he's not the guy. He's not going to hold your hand. Right. He's not going to be the guy that's going to be, he just doesn't have time, and I'm not knocking him for it. It's not his niche or his forte. You guys have built along.
And we actually, the cool thing is that we actually, you know, partner with them and we send, you know, some of our individuals over there that maybe need a little bit, that want to go in this direction or that direction. And then even us personally, we have, you know, some other business endeavors where we help those higher net worth individuals that, you know, want to get their crypto or their capital into these vehicles. And we work with some of those as well. And so we have some of those passive opportunities. But for those individuals that want to work hand in hand, like that's what we really want to make possible, because this space can be so
So huge.
intimidating and so high level, which, you know, we're all trying to break it down, but we're also
Yeah.
trying to, like, what you bring is just a lot of innovation as well, and trying to make sure we're keeping up with, you know, so that's where all the things that are coming. So I think what we really try to do within the space is make people confident, make people, you know, equip them from ground level up, and
Yeah.
kind of simplify things so that they can really have the confidence to move with their investments that they know they should be making, but might just not have the confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
And it like if you go with Caleb and Brown, which you guys love too, I know you do, and when you go with those companies, or even Coinbase is kind of doing some of this, whatnot, but like if you go with those, or Uphold or somebody like that, you're kind of a number. You know what I mean? You're not in a group. You're not really in a family. Although Caleb and Brown is really good at it, and their white glove service is very good. Don't get me wrong. I've been with Caleb a long time. Longer than anybody I know in the XRP community. But anyway, that whole thing is a different. I get a different feel from you. I've only checked out your website, and I only talked to you a little bit about what you do. But everything I've heard and everything I've seen, I'm like, wow, I love this for the space. This is what we need. We need, because I think you two are going to be here 10 years, 20 years from now. Like I'm not going to be. And I don't mean on this planet. I mean, I'm the guy that's probably going to call you up and say, hey, would you girls just kind of manage my money? Because, you know, I'm doing pretty good here. And I'm busy dodging this umbrella in my drink to get the next sip. So somebody's got to handle it. Somebody's got to handle the background.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that you say that, because, you know, it's awesome, because I think that's where we're connectors too, because we've really found the spot that people really need, that, you know, you offer so much great knowledge. And Caleb and Brown, they actually treat our community so well. We're partnered with them. They treat our community so well, and people go over to them and get helped. And that's one of the directions we point people. But the thing is that, you know, our community members go and do that, but then they're still in our community, and we have these face-to-face calls every single week, and we sit there and we answer every single last question till it's answered, right? And then they can go through our modules, our program, and then text us 24/7 on our private chat that we have our community chat on, and we'll answer it for them. And so that's really where we do love the kind of the intimacy of our community, and being able to actually see the differences in each one as well, and help them meet them where they're at, and meet people, you know, really where they're at, and hold their hand through the process, because we all know we wish we had that at the beginning.
Do we ever? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can't even tell you how much money I put into ICOs, but yeah, we won't even get into that. That was fun days. But you know what? I don't want to keep this show going any longer, but I'm a huge fan of ICOs, actually. And I think they're coming back. I believe they will. They kind of got a black eye, but I think they're really an amazing way to invest in something very small.
Right.
Okay. How does everybody on the internet, or the webs, or whatever we want to call this thing now, X, all the rest of it, how do we get a hold of the two of you? We're going to have some links down below in the show notes for everybody who really enjoyed the both of you's wonderful smiles and incredible brains that brings this community together, because we are all a big family. We are not an army, and we are a family. And every time you go to an event, it gets proven over and over again.
Yes,
it really does.
We are a family, and we take care of each other. That's what we do here. And you two are going to provide way more service about helping people than this man can get to. So I really want to make sure you guys can help some of the people out in my community who have those tough questions that you can answer. So how do we get a hold of you on the internet?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. Truly, it has been just an honor to be here with you. And so we just appreciate all your wisdom and knowledge as well. So, but to get a hold of us, you can either, I mean, probably from the links, the ones that I sent you, I'm pretty sure, the links down below that can directly take you to some of our free material. A calendar link, I believe, is in there as well.
Yeah.
To get a meeting with us.
Okay.
And then our free material, you can even jump on, put in information to get that, and then jump on a.
And then
free
there's
meeting.
also we put quite a few links in there because surprisingly enough, the funny thing is, yes, we're young, but we're the ones that aren't on social media at all. We're working on it a little bit, but we do like our intimate, more kind of like exclusive vibe right now or feeling of our community. And so we will get on a call with you and talk with you one-on-one and see if that community works, if the program is going to be a good fit for you, if you're going to be able to truly have success at the end of it, and we can take you from where you are now to where you really want to go. So we'll sit down and talk with you about that. You can schedule a meeting with us, a free meeting with us. But yeah, go to those links. And then one of the links is actually some details on that Crypto Start program that probably hits a little bit more than what we just touched on the call. So you guys can go ahead and look at that as well and get a better feel for what that could actually provide for you. And then once again, we'll be happy to jump on a call with you guys.
Yeah. So I just put the first one down, which I think is just your initial, but they can get everything through that first link, right?
Yep. Yeah. They should be able to get everything through. Yeah.
Okay,
the first
good.
link.
And I will put the other ones up probably later tonight, tomorrow morning, before everybody sees this. A lot of people watch this tomorrow morning. So that's, kind of the way, because I'm on the West Coast and, a lot of people it's kind of late past their bedtime where you guys live.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's about 10 o'clock here almost.
Yeah. Right. Sorry to keep your girls up so late. No, you're probably going out.
We had so much fun with you.
Okay, great. Thanks. One Sunday afternoon, we'll have to do this with Brent too, the four of us.
Yeah, awesome.
We were just talking with him and he's amazing. He's so encouraging with us, and it really is that's one unique thing. Before we leave here, I'll just say that is one unique thing about cryptocurrency and about these different communities is they really are families, right? And so it's really awesome. And I think as we see progression within this space, we're actually going to find a lot more of those kind of hubs that are popping up, that we're invested in this, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's really why I don't know if you noticed. I know you did. When you go to these shows at Las Vegas or Miami or wherever it might be, Nashville, and you go to these shows and there's a stage going on, and there's information at that stage. There's really good stuff. But what really happens is in the lobby at break or lunchtime. Like that's when you really get to mingle. You just walk up to anybody you want to talk to. I mean, it could even be Brad Garlinghouse for all you know. I bumped into him in an elevator the first show that I ever went to, and I was like, and he was like, he's looking at me. He's like, the dogs, right? I was like, no way that's on my channel, right? I was like, oh my God, because you don't think anybody's going to see what you do. But like, that's how tight the community is when you go to these shows, and you went and saw it firsthand. And the next thing you know, you guys are live and, on video. And I think we went to 23.
Right. We're like, okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Right. So, and what'll happen at my show in Lauderdale, just talk about that for a minute, is the show's not going to be a big stage presentation. It's going to be a meet, greet, network the whole day. There'll be some stage stuff, but it's going to be, who is this person? Why is this person here? Who are these people? How do I get a hold of these two? And where are they? And oh, they're in the crowd. Okay, I can get their contacts. That's the stuff that we really need, because you can really only watch one channel at a time, or you can only see so much content without ruining your entire productive day. But if we can get all those people in the same room, right? If we can all just mingle and go, oh, I know who you're looking for. You're looking for, that guy over there with a blue shirt. That's your guy.
Absolutely.
Those two sisters, don't ask me that question because I can't help you with that. Those two can help you with that. And that's really what
I love that.
Yeah. And then we'll do a picnic the next day, let your hair down, wear your flops, and just chill and have a great day with your friends and families. So
I love it.
We love it. We're super excited for it. Super excited to be with you guys. And then I just think it's great to get the whole community together as well. In the sun, in a good state.
In January. Yeah.
Yes.
Remind us of the dates.
Okay. I don't know if you play golf, but there's a golf tournament on Thursday, which is the 29th of January.
Okay.
The 30th is the actual event from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And there's valet parking. It's a very private location. There won't be anybody else there except for us. Very private, a beautiful, big, giant building. Okay. It's a billionaire's man cave is what it is.
That's pretty cool.
It's where he parks his Gulfstream jets. So it's decked out with a large.
Is this one of your guys with the yachts?
Yeah. But no, I don't know this man personally. I just know people that know him. Yeah. And then that's the Friday. And then Saturday we'll be at the park and it'll be barbecue or whatever, casual, just for a few hours. And it's just gonna be a lot of fun. Community building.
That is. It is. That's the best way to do it and start the year off too. Honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But I plan on doing one in the summer as well. I was originally going to do one northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, 4 times a year. Because
we'll have to grab that link again and actually put it within our community as well, because we have we have people all over the US, but we have some people in Florida as well. So I know people will want to come.
Yeah.
I just thought of that.
The email address, just email the address. It's underneath each one of my shows. And there's a prompt too that comes up and it tells you everything that's going on.
Okay.
That's the way we did it. That's the way we did it because a ticket agency wanted to charge us some ridiculous amount of money to everybody.
I know.
And
we've gone through those and it's crazy.
I'm not doing that to my people.
Yeah.
They wanted to charge $60 per person just to sign up on this thing. And I was like, I'm not doing that to people. What do they get for $60? Like nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's a good thing you curbed that one. We've had to figure out technology like that too, these payment processors.
Yeah. I'm literally paying the tax and the fee and everything on it. So it's like whatever the ticket price is, that's what you pay. It's
Well, you're awesome.
Becky just put the ticket email address in the chat there. So
okay, perfect.
Awesome.
Ladies, I appreciate your time. This will not be our last show together. Yes. And anytime you would like me to join your group, I would love to be there. I'm there. Just give me a little heads up.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Well, we'll sketch you into our calendar and we'll coordinate with you to get you on a good date. But we just appreciate you so much and just have learned so much from you. And so meeting you has just been awesome.
Yes.
And I love it because our dad, I remember just being, I think 6 years ago, we were younger then, but I just remember the voices of these YouTubers he would have us watch. And so then finally really meeting you guys is just right.
Sorry about that. I got to tell you, we were talking about ages of people earlier tonight. My number one fan is 94 years old.
Wow. No.
And he got his son, who's 77, into crypto.
Wow, that's amazing. Talk
It's so
about
cool.
willingness to change
I know.
Yeah, right.
and adapt.
Brilliant,
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
Still sharp as a tack. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, ladies, it was such a pleasure again, guys. If you can look up Kaylin and Kinley, or the other way around.
Yep.
I guess we should do the oldest first. We don't have to. But you guys can find their information underneath in the show notes. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say good night to everybody. And thank you again for showing up.
Thank
I love
Yes,
you.
thank you. Good night.